been a really long time since I uploaded a video. I know. And it's been especially a long time since I made a follow-up video to the one of transitioning back from traveling, where I was like, it's so depressing coming back into reality. I'm gonna tell you guys how I'm coping with it. And then I never told you how I coped with it. So here I am. And that's what this video today is kind of telling you how I reinitiated myself back into reality and society and got over the post-travel depression. And yeah, also, I know this is a really weird camera angle, but I don't have a fancy car mount. I just have one that sticks into my vent. Like sometimes you might see my chins. So I really struggled at first when I had come back from my 3-month adventure to Italy and some of the European countries. It was weird because, like I had said in my prior video, I had no concept of time. I did whatever I wanted whenever I wanted. Everything was just easy. Every day was perfect. It just exceeded any expectations I could have had, but I never have expectations, so I mean there's that. So it's really easy for me to be pleased. So I came back home, and the hardest part was getting back on a time schedule, going back to a job I didn't like, because before I had left, I was personal training and waitressing. And when I had come back, I didn't really want the personal training job anymore, just for a lot of reasons. But the waitressing was the thing I would have dove back into, and I did have to start doing that again. I tried so long to just not have a job, and that lasted about 2 weeks once I had gotten back, and I was like, man, I have no money. So went back to the same restaurant I used to work at, and it was just every day was a drag. And I liked the restaurant I was working at the time too. I mean, everybody there was a friend of mine, and people who used to come in and eat with me were excited to see me, and everything was well, but I was I don't want this job. This isn't my lifetime goal, so I'm not actually happy waking up in the mornings anymore. And then I'd come home from the restaurant, and then I'd go to the gym, but because I was in a weird mind state, my workouts I would kind of cut short or cut corners, or my head wasn't in the game, and then I'd go home, isolate myself, and try to fall asleep, and then just lie awake staring at the ceiling, wishing I could go back to Italy. But then coronavirus hit, and for people watching this in the future, maybe coronavirus won't be a factor, but it's actually the thing that helped me the most. So because of coronavirus, I lost my job, became unemployed. I was like, oh, no, I don't have, but in the period of time where I did have my job, I had saved up enough money, so through unemployment, I could skate by for a bit, so I was okay. And I was like, okay, so I don't have to work now. Sweet. Now I can just mope in my room for more hours like I wanted to. But, when I'm alone, I do really well when I'm by myself. I take a lot of time to pray and meditate and focus on my thoughts and why they're coming up, and I do a lot of self-mental work. So to be able to have that time availability again is really good. It's hot in here! Hold on! I need that fan. So, I had nothing going on in the daytimes, and a lot of my friends ended up being unemployed too, and I was like, well, maybe I can use this to surround myself with these people that I feel so good around, and force myself to just get out of my house and socialize. And I had kind of become an introvert after this because I felt like I wasn't relatable anymore. So it's the only thing I wanted to talk about was my travels, which is someone no one actually cares. You could tell a few stories, but if I talk about it all the time, everyone's gonna be like, okay, and I get that. I can read a room, or at least I assume nobody wants to hear my stories unless they ask, so I'm not gonna just tell them. So I was during the quarantine, I was like, okay, maybe my friends that are quarantining too and everything, we could meet up and go for walks, or just I could surround myself with people that make me feel good again. So I started doing that, and I started seeing friends that I spent all my time with before my travels. Then when I came back from my travels, I isolated myself from and should have been seeing. And so I started to get that feedback of positive energy and the unconditional love that my incredible friends have for me, and that started to feel really good. And then I even met some new friends in the process, and some of these new friends had very similar hobbies to me. I'm very outdoorsy, and I think the best thing during quarantine was the fact that like you could go outside to parks and stuff. You could have that space and socially distance, but still like play and have fun. So I made a friend in particular that liked to play soccer, liked to do sports, liked to weight train, liked to go for walks, hikes, all of the outdoorsy things, tumble, and do like tricking and stuff like that. And I was like, hey, like, you want to do this every day? And he was like, yeah. So we'd go to this park and we'd kick around the soccer ball, or we would do, I have this gymnastics mat, I would bring this and we would start practicing like flips and stuff like that. And he had some weight equipment at his house, so we would bring that to the park and like make the park our gym. And it was really cool, and I started to pick up interests in like my old hobbies again. And at this point, like, the self-isolation and the post-travel depression, everything was starting to fizzle out, and I didn't even notice it. And another cool thing about quarantine was a lot of the interests I had in taking up, but like couldn't afford. Like, I used to do dance, and I've stopped dancing for a really long time, and I didn't really have the money to take classes again, and I don't really have an interest in teaching choreography, so I was like, guess I'll just let that passion fade out. Some of my old dance teachers ended up live streaming dance classes, and a lot of like famous ones too. Like, a lot of famous dancers started doing like Instagram TV of choreography they were doing, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I could take dance classes without paying for them, and in the comfort of my own home, and I don't have to travel, and I can be alone and all this stuff. So I started to dive into like one of my early passions again, and I was getting sporty, and I was still getting like fitness in, but it had started to become fun again. And I started interacting with my friends, and I started getting like just all the good energy, you know. And then that led into spending more time with my family, and I'd say the thing that was best for my coming back into reality was coronavirus. Coronavirus sucks. I hate it. But at that time, it was like the quarantining of everybody was exactly what I needed to like refocus and figure out like how to feel better, and to not go to a job every morning that I didn't actually want, and to be able to just wake up and do my own thing and like have coffee and go learn a new language and like study something I wanted to, read a book, go for a swim, like anything I wanted to do in the morning I could, and I didn't have to worry about getting dressed and going to the restaurant by a certain time to work for a few hours in a place I didn't even want to be at. So it made like every morning a lot more worth waking up to. And then, you know, time just progressed, and I just got better and better, and that's where I'm at now. I'm good. I'm here. And then, you know, I got busy and all that time up to now, so unfortunately, the last thing on my mind has been YouTube videos, but I'm going to try to get back into this posting once a week thing. I have a few videos archived that I just need to edit and upload, so hopefully I can start making more content and putting it out there. But yeah, I'm in a really good place now. Life is turning well. I've made some decisions towards my future, which will come up in some future videos, some regarding the military and a job I'm pursuing in there. Yeah, I mean, things are looking up, even in this dead corona season where you can't travel. So, you know, that side of my passion is gone for a temporary piece. You know, like, everybody I know and love is very healthy and happy, and life has been going on around in the area that I'm living in, and just being as careful as we can be. But quality of life is definitely back. Like, I'm looking forward to a job I actually want now. I'm able to see my friends and enjoy time with them, and like, it's just I'm just back to old Kelly again. So no more post-travel depression, maybe one day, but for now, I think I kind of found my cure, and I'm in a good place, and I wanted to tell you all that. So if you're, I mean, really what to take away from this, if this is something you're kind of struggling with, is just really get into some of your old interests and hobbies that make you feel good, and like find people to share it with if you want to. Or if you're in a phase where you're kind of like being introverted, that's okay too. Just make sure you're not working on yourself. You know, if you're alone in your room for hours a day because you just don't feel like socializing, that's all right, but don't drown yourself in like external sources like media, movies, Netflix, all that stuff. It's okay to do that, but like, you're ignoring your head then, you know, like you're suppressing thoughts that could otherwise be presenting themselves to you that you could deal with or manage or learn from. So take your time to be alone. That's great, that's fine, but just do it and manage it in a healthy way. And once you start to feel like you could really use that interaction again, just surround yourself with the people that make you feel good. You know, you can have friends in your life where you leave them and you feel exhausted, and that's normal. You know, we have those people in our lives that we love unconditionally, but sometimes it's like more taxing to be around them than away from them. Surround yourself with the people that you leave feeling energized and good and loved and supported, even if you just sit on their couch for hours and don't talk, but like you're just in that healthy space with them. Pick up your old hobbies, pick up the hobbies you like. If you're not connecting with them, try something new. Just, and this is the most simple thing in the world to say, but just do what feels good to you and let it grow into something. And then if that thing starts to fade out, find the next thing and just flow. Like, go with your own flow, trust the flow, and things will start lining up for you. And I think that goes for a lot of like everyday depression too, which isn't something I struggle with, so I can't really speak on it, but I feel like if you can just really acknowledge the things that do feel good and fill you with joy, even in a temporary moment, seek those in your day-to-day, right? Even if it's a 5-minute phone call with a friend or family member, or it's researching a favorite topic, something like that that's just going to stimulate that happiness for a little bit, it could make a really huge difference in turning a situation around, you know, or even just in your breathing. Like, you could go from like a really deep, calming, but like depressive breath tone to something that's just like a little more upbeat and like picks up your heart rate a little bit, and for some reason all of a sudden you're filled with a little bit more endorphins and it just feels better. So pay attention to yourself, your mind, and your gut, what feels good to you in any given moment. Really tune into that and remember it. And I think it can help in many, many ways during many, many times. And yeah, so thank you for watching this video. If you liked it or like me, please like and subscribe. I have a lot of news coming up that I think could interest a lot of people. I'm excited to be back on this platform. I'm gonna try to do a little bit better at updating, like I said, but you know, sometimes you get busy. I don't know. It just, I don't know, that's an excuse. That's an excuse. There's no excuses. We just gotta stick to it. Hopefully, I'll see you guys in the next video. And please, if you got any comments, leave some below. And yeah, good tidings. Have a great day.